In 2009, the global financial crisis reached its fiercest peak. Inside the Dubai International Financial Center, investment elites from Britain, France, America, and other countries were calculating how much longer Dubai could survive. The numbers were amazing. Dubai's total debt high as $80 billion. Among them, Dubai World alone debt $59 billion, while the Dubai government were debt $21 billion. Everyone reached the same conclusion: Dubai was finished. But this was not the first time Dubai had been declared dead. Over the past 170 years, Dubai had endured one crisis after another: exile and the founding of a city-port competition, industrial collapse, political turmoil, urban decline, the British withdrawal, and the financial crisis. Every single time, the world thought Dubai was over. However, it managed to survive. Even more incredibly, this desert eventually became one of the richest cities in the world. But the beginning, Dubai was nothing more than a fishing village founded by an exiled tribe known as the Maktoum family. So how did a family with nothing survive on the edge of destruction again and again? How did they build the Dubai miracle that would eventually astonish the world? Let's turn back the 1833 Liwa Oasis. After the death of the Sheikh bin Shakbut al-Nahyan, the new ruler Khalifa bin Shakbut seized power. To completely eliminate his remaining rivals, he held a grand feast. He invited two rival tribal factions, the Al-Bufala and the Al-Bufalasa. Everyone believed this banquet would mark reconciliation, but no one expected. It was a carefully laid trap. Onsen the feast got underway. Hidden warriors burst into the camp. Blades fell. Blood stained the desert red. This incident would later be known as the Liwa Massacre. The Al-Bufalasa clan suffered a devastating blow. The survivors understood they could no longer remain there. They faced only one choice: to flee. Two cousins among them, Obeid bin Said and Maktoum bin Budi, led the remnants of their people northward across the desert. They trekked through the sands until they reached the shores of the Persian Gulf. There were no cities here, no farmlands, no riches, nothing but a desolate stretch of beach. However, for these exiles, this place represented a fresh start. They resolved to build a new home here. Little did they know this humble fishing village would one day grow into a global financial hub. Its name, Dubai. At first, the two men ruled this newly established settlement together. But a few years later, Obeid bin Said passed away, and Maktoum bin Budi became the sole leader of Dubai. At the same time, a major change was happening across the Persian Gulf. In 1820, Britain signed the General Maritime Treaty with the coastal rulers. After years of conflict at sea, the trade routes became much safer. For a small settlement that had just been established, this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But there was one big question. The Persian Gulf had many ports. Why was Dubai the one that rose above the others? The answer was in the way Maktoum bin Budi ran the settlement. At that time, many port rulers saw merchants simply as a way to collect money. But Maktoum bin Budi saw them differently. He believed merchants were partners who could help build Dubai's future. So Dubai focused on three simple things: solving disputes, protecting trade, and keeping taxes low. These choices made merchants feel safe and welcomed. Soon, traders from Persia, India, and the Arab world began coming to Dubai in large numbers. By 1880, Dubai had become a stable little port town. The people were not rich, but trade provided them with a steady way to make a living. However, by the end of the 19th century, competition in the Persian Gulf was growing. Ports like Bahrain and Linga were becoming stronger. They offered cheaper trade and attracted more merchants. For the first time, Dubai faced a serious challenge. The advantage it had built over decades was slowly disappearing. Just when Dubai seemed to be falling behind, a new ruler came to power: Sheikh Maktoum bin Hasher. In 1894, he made a decision that shocked the entire Persian Gulf. Dubai removed all import and export taxes. When the news spread, other ports thought he had gone crazy. Remove all taxes. Then how would the ruling family make money? At that time, almost every port depended on taxes to survive. But Dubai gave up its biggest source of income. Facing all the criticism, Sheikh Maktoum bin Hasher believed one thing: if merchants make money first, Dubai will make money too. And history proved he was right. Within just a few years, large numbers of merchants returned to Dubai. The city once again became one of the busiest trading centers in the Persian Gulf. For the first time, Dubai began to build real wealth. At the same time, another industry started to rise: the pearl industry. The warm, shallow waters of the Persian Gulf were perfect for pearl oysters. Starting in 1897, pearl diving changed from a small side business into the main source of income for many people in Dubai. Every summer, hundreds of boats went out to sea. Pearl divers, carrying only simple equipment, repeatedly dove underwater to collect pearls. By the early 20th century, the pearl industry supported most of Dubai's income and provided jobs for a large part of the population. With every shining pearl they collected, Dubai entered a short golden age. But then, a new technology from Japan changed everything. In 1905, Japanese businessman Kokichi Mikimoto developed a way to produce cultured pearls. These pearls were more consistent, much cheaper, and looked almost identical to natural pearls. In 1916, Japanese cultured pearls entered the global market on a large scale. The result was devastating. The price of natural pearls from the Persian Gulf began to collapse. At that time, almost all of Dubai depended on the pearl industry for survival. Overnight, pearl diving boats stopped operating. Thousands of people lost their jobs. Merchants lost their entire fortunes. Dubai's economy collapsed almost instantly. The city that had once grown wealthy from pearls suddenly returned to poverty. But when the money disappeared, someone had to take responsibility. The merchant class saw an opportunity and launched a challenge against the Maktoum family's authority. In 1938, powerful merchants openly questioned the ruling family and demanded the creation of a merchant council that would control Dubai's finances and trade affairs. At first, the Sheikh chose to compromise, hoping to stabilize the situation, but the conflict quickly spiraled out of control. The merchant council continued expanding its influence, attempting to weaken and even sideline the ruling family. By the end of 1938, the conflict had reached a breaking point. Dubai was effectively divided into two sides. The ruling family controlled Bur Dubai on the western side of Dubai Creek. The merchant faction controlled Dira on the eastern side. The two sides faced each other across the creek, and neither was willing to back down. At the time, many people believed this was only a temporary standoff, and that both sides would eventually reach a compromise. But in March 1939, a shooting incident shattered that possibility. During the wedding ceremony of Dubai's new crown prince, Rashid, the leader of the merchant council was assassinated on the spot. This wedding massacre completely ended the merchant reform movement. The key figures of the opposition were eliminated, and control of the city returned to the Maktoum family. But the price was high. Dubai lost the internal commercial competition that had pushed it forward. It also lost its short-term momentum for growth. Meanwhile, the outside world was changing rapidly. Bahrain, Kuwait, and Saudi Arabia discovered massive oil fields one after another, transforming the region forever. Watching neighboring countries enter an age of wealth, Dubai did not want to miss the opportunity. In 1937, Dubai signed a deal with the British Oil Company and began a full search for oil. Everyone hoped that oil would be found beneath their land, but the result was disappointing. Dubai's underground rocks were broken, and the conditions were not suitable for storing oil. The exploration well drilled in 1940 found nothing but salty underground water. Oil never came. But the world was moving forward faster than ever. Throughout the 1940s, nearby countries were becoming rich from oil. Dubai was left behind. Just when everyone thought Dubai had been abandoned by history and would become one of the poorest places in the Gulf, a new leader came to power, Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed. In 1958, he took control of Dubai. At that time, Dubai had almost lost all of its advantages. No oil, no industry, no stable income. And even worse, its port was slowly losing its importance. Dubai Creek had become badly blocked by sand. The water became too shallow for large ships to enter. Many traders had no choice but to move their business to ports like Kuwait and Bahrain. Every ship that left Dubai meant less money for the city. If this continued, Dubai would eventually be left behind. Everyone knew what the problem was, but no one knew how to solve it, because fixing the creek would cost hundreds of thousands of pounds. And Dubai simply did not have that kind of money. Just when everyone was ready to accept reality and cut spending, Sheikh Rashid made a decision that shocked everyone. In 1959, he borrowed £400,000 from Kuwait and started the project to clear and rebuild Dubai Creek. Even members of his own family thought he was crazy. He was putting the future of all Dubai on the line. If the project failed, Dubai would lose its port and be left with a debt it could never repay. But Rashid had only one answer. If we don't borrow, Dubai will disappear. If we do, at least we have a chance. For the next 2 years, the entire city worked to clear the mud, widen the creek, and make the water deeper. No one knew whether the £400,000 would become the beginning of a miracle or the final blow that would destroy Dubai. Then, the project was finally completed. The first large ships sailed back into Dubai Creek. Everyone could finally breathe again. The merchants who had planned to leave came back. Dubai once again became one of the busiest trading centers in the Persian Gulf. But the creek brought Dubai something even more unexpected, a new opportunity. In 1962, India introduced a ban on gold imports. The government wanted to stop gold from flowing into the country and protect its foreign currency. As a result, gold prices in India rose sharply. At the same time, Dubai had open trade rules and almost no taxes. It quickly became a major trading route between the world's gold markets and India. Dubai merchants saw the opportunity. They began sending large amounts of gold across the sea to India. By the end of the 1960s, hundreds of tons of gold passed through Dubai every year. The huge profits helped transform the city. Dubai was soon known as the City of Gold. But just as Dubai was recovering through gold trade, the old power behind the region was preparing to leave. After World War II, Britain's power declined sharply. It could no longer afford to maintain its huge overseas empire. In 1968, Britain announced that it would withdraw from the Gulf region by 1971. The era of the British Empire was coming to an end. The security system Britain had built for decades was about to disappear. The small Gulf states were filled with uncertainty. Powerful neighbors were watching the region closely. Without outside protection, conflict could break out at any time. Facing this uncertain future, Dubai and Abu Dhabi began talking about cooperation. At the time, Abu Dhabi had something Dubai did not: oil. But Dubai had something equally valuable: trade. In February 1968, Abu Dhabi's ruler Sheikh Zayed and Dubai's ruler Sheikh Rashid secretly met inside a desert tent. No one can survive alone. Only by joining together can we survive. In that desert tent, they reached an agreement. They would work together and build a federation. Soon, more small emirates joined the alliance. On the 2nd of December 1971, the United Arab Emirates was officially born. Around the same time, Dubai finally found what everyone had been waiting for: oil. In 1966, oil reserves were discovered in Dubai's offshore waters. When the news spread, the entire city was filled with excitement. The oil field was named the Fatha Oil Field. In 1969, the field officially began producing oil, and Dubai exported its first shipment of crude oil to Japan. Although Dubai's oil production was far smaller than Abu Dhabi's, the income helped solve Dubai's financial problems and gave the city money to grow. Sheikh Rashid immediately began a new era of construction. In 1972, construction started on Port Rashid. In 1978, the Dubai World Trade Center, the tallest building in the Middle East at the time, was completed. In 1979, construction began on Jebel Ali Port. Between the desert and the sea, a modern city was starting to take shape. At the same time, many other Gulf states were spending their oil wealth. But Rashid always believed one thing: oil will not last forever. A city's future cannot depend only on oil. Only trade can create long-term growth. Seeing the limits of oil, Rashid introduced a plan that would completely change Dubai's future. In 1985, the Jebel Ali Free Zone was officially established. Here, foreign companies could fully own their businesses. There were no import taxes, fewer restrictions, and money could move freely. Companies from around the world began moving in. Dubai successfully transformed itself into an international business city. In 1990, Sheikh Rashid passed away. His son, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, became the new leader of Dubai and took charge of the city's future development. But his ambition was far greater than that of the previous generation. Isn't it enough for us to remain a regional trade center? My goal is to compete with cities like New York, London, and Singapore, and build a world-class global city. From that moment, Dubai entered an era of rapid growth. In 1999, the Burj Al Arab was completed. In 2002, construction began on the artificial Palm Islands. In 2004, the Dubai International Financial Center was launched, and construction of the Burj Khalifa officially began. One massive project after another started. In just over a decade, Dubai's world-famous landmarks made the city known across the globe. Luxury, ambition, and modernity became Dubai's new identity. But behind the success was a huge amount of debt. In 2008, the global financial crisis hit. Dubai's rapid expansion, built on heavy borrowing, suddenly faced a major collapse. In 2009, Dubai World announced that it would restructure $26 billion of debt. The news shocked global markets. Investment firms from the UK, France, the US, and other countries lowered their ratings on Dubai. Many financial experts reached the same conclusion: Dubai would not survive this crisis. If Dubai World failed to repay its debts, the entire financial system of Dubai could collapse. Just as the world was waiting for Dubai to fall, Abu Dhabi stepped in. It provided $10 billion in support and helped save the city. With this financial support, Dubai survived its most dangerous moment. To remember this help, the world's tallest building, originally called Dubai Tower, was renamed the Burj Khalifa in honor of Abu Dhabi's ruler, Sheikh Khalifa. But this crisis also forced Dubai to change. After the crisis, Mohammed moved away from a growth model based on heavy borrowing. He introduced the Dubai 2040 Urban Plan and pushed the city toward a more diverse economy. Tourism, international trade, finance, logistics, and technology all became major focuses. Dubai was no longer relying on just one source of wealth. Today, the share of oil in Dubai's GDP has dropped to less than 1%, while the trade and service sectors have become the dominant pillars. Returning to the core question, why was a family in exile able to build the wealthiest city in the world in the desert? The answer actually spans the 170-year history of the Maktoum family. Over these 100 years, they have always believed that only through openness can Dubai survive. Every leader knows that once Dubai is in crisis, remaining stagnant is never an option. The only way forward is to open up and seek new solutions. The current prosperity of Dubai is not due to luck, it is the result of its ability to constantly adapt and change during crises. This is the true miracle of Dubai. If you found this story interesting, subscribe, and share. More stories about the people and empires that shaped our world are coming soon.